You've got a home climbing wall. How do you set routes that will actually help you grow as a climber? Hello, everyone. I'm Jason. The home wall, the Woody, everyone's favorite pandemic quarantine build. If you have a home wall that isn't a standardized board system like a kilter, moon, tension, or grasshopper, you have to think about how you're going to route set. Well, I've had to think about route setting a lot as my boys have grown as climbers and literally grown. So let's talk about how I think through route setting to find the balance between difficulty, enjoyment, and learning new techniques. Luckily, I think all of those things can converge if we're thoughtful. First, a bit of a caveat. My boys have always been climbers, and as we saw their enjoyment, we encouraged it. Meanwhile, we've moved a couple of times, so that has meant three different walls over three different homes. Because of that, I've had to think about route setting in terms of principles and general practices rather than setting for a specific wall. I think that's actually helped me, and therefore it may be of some benefit to you. First, there's something mechanical that we simply have to know. Since I'm not setting a wall for the general public, I should figure out how far my climber can reach. Standing at the bottom of the wall, how many hold positions upward can they reach? But rarely do you reach straight up on a climb, so you really are looking for a reach point that is between the elbow and the wrist to accommodate the sideways parts of the reach that shorten the vertical reach. Now, unless I'm explicitly setting for a dyno, I don't set anything beyond that reach threshold. So once I have this key piece of information, the next thing I want to think about is the purpose of a particular route. Here's a quick set of examples to demonstrate how I tried to set routes with purpose for my boys. My first routes were intentionally ladders. The kids were on the wall before they could even fit into the smallest of climbing shoes. So really, I wanted a route that would climb securely even with big shoes on, and that way just allow the kids to get used to trusting the rope. Once they could fit into climbing shoes, I added a bit of three dimensions to their climb so that they could learn to break out of the simple ladder pattern. Ladders create a habit of moving hands and feet at the same time, which typically leads to lots of bent arms, a poor technique for more advanced climbing. So I made traverses. Traverses will tend to force a cadence of move the hands, then shift the feet. That will get climbers to grip holds with more relaxed, straight arms. Another ladder habit that can be a problem is always alternating which hand is moved. So I added in a climb that demanded intermediate holds, thus moving the same hand twice in a row. I also started using smaller edges, 20 millimeters, getting the boys used to pulling hard. I'll often set a specific move close to off the ground. This allows the boys to focus on the move before they get pumped. In this case, it was a drop knee that helps them loosen their hips and get used to twisting to stay close to the wall. Of course, you could purposely set a specific move higher on the wall if performing while being pumped is part of your purpose. And that came as the wall grew. This route had three drop knees, one in the middle and two near the end. So you can see how each climb has an intended goal, a specific focus. Sometimes it's one move or technique, sometimes it's a broader theme, but it's always intentional. Beyond just movement techniques, I'll also think about hold types. I mentioned adding in some edges, but I also think about side pulls, pinches, and the like. For my kids, it's simply about exposure right now and letting them discover new ways to grip that they can then take outside. And then, of course, I need to think about physical endurance and the ability to complete the route. If you're intentionally trying to get a forearm pump on something like overhanging small edges, then go for it. For my kids, it's not about that yet. It's about feeling like they have to work hard, sometimes weeks, to be honest, but I don't want any one individual move that they can't do after some practice. That way, the challenge becomes more about the movement of stringing things together. I want eventual top outs and success. That simply keeps up the stoke.
Yeah!
If I find that they aren't showing progress on something, I'll sometimes just change the physical hold to something easier or change parts of the route sequence itself. So, reach, purpose, grips, physical endurance, and success. That's what I think about when I'm setting a route for just my home climbers. I hope this helps you think through setting on your own home wall. Thanks for watching this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe, ring the bell, all the things. And you can check out our website at shortguysbetaworks.com to find gear lists, all of our videos, and additional thoughts and information. Do you have a home wall? Do you want to get one? Let us know in the comments. We'll see you next week and keep on getting more out of that big outside.